Hi guys, so we're going to build on our knowledge of color theory. We're going to look at color harmonies and look at key colors and understand how to curate color stories based on color harmonies. Color theory is nothing but a set of rules and guidelines artists and designers use to apply color. It also helps us understand how humans perceive color, and it explains how we can replicate color over and over again with a scientific approach, but it's also very artistic. And this is how we kind of curate color stories. There's always a key color to a color story, and this is basically the anchor or the main color where you want to feature in your color story or artwork, makeup, body painting, whatever you're working on. In color theory, there are 6 color harmonies relate to the key color. So your key color always sets the scene or the tone to the rest of the combinations. The rest of the colors are either supporting colors or accent colors, and they are basically used in less quantities or less percentages, especially the accent colors. They are usually just touches or hints of color in a story, while the support colors are a little bit more substantial. Sometimes you even have 2 core colors, not necessarily 1 in a color story. So think of color stories in that format. Let's begin revealing our harmonies. Number 1, we have monochromatic. Here is all about picking a single color and utilizing the shades, tints, and tones of that color, which is when it's mixed with black, white, and gray. Immediately you can see that it's very serene and very cohesive, and it's very memorable. So people tend to walk away from looking at a monochromatic color scheme, remembering what color they were looking at. Although it's memorable, but it doesn't draw attention to itself. Rather, it lets whatever subject you're working with to shine. And I like to look at the color wheel as a pizza pie, and monochromatic is a single slice off of that pie. The next theory is analogous, and you can see here we have 3 pizza slices, maybe sometimes even 4. The relationship here is basically side by side neighboring colors, so they could be 3, 4 neighboring colors, maybe even 5. And they're very, very good to create comfort in designs. They're very serene, and they match what nature gives us. Nature is very analogous in its color schemes, and we like that because it's very pleasing and familiar to the eye. Next up is complementary colors, and there are 2 colors opposite one another on the color wheel. And because they are very extreme, they actually accentuate one another and strengthen one another if they were put side by side. That's because they're opposite and quite extreme. When I say they accentuate and they strengthen one another, sometimes to the point where it's overbearing and your eye can't even handle it because of the vibrations of how extreme they can be. But in small doses, they actually can work. Think of a Christmas tree, and when you put red decorations and ornaments on a green tree, instantly the tree and the red ornaments literally pop. That's the power of complementary colors. They're very tricky when you're working with large bodies of color, and they tend to stand out, sometimes even annoy the eye. Now in beauty, complementary colors is excessively used to camouflage and hide bruises, dark circles, tattoos, and so on, because if complementary colors are mixed into one another, they actually desaturate one another. Side by side, they make each other stronger. Mixed into each other, they desaturate one another. So they kind of dull out one another. And that is great because, for example, if you have purple undertones to your dark circles around the eyes, or a bruise, yellow or orange is the right corrector to camouflage that. Also, if teeth are a little bit yellow, lipsticks to avoid would be purple and violets, because the violet lips will make the teeth look yellower, and this is how you kind of want to work with complementary colors. We're going to talk more about camouflage a little bit later, but let's just go back to color theory for now. Split complementary is almost like a complementary color scheme, except instead of taking the opposite color, you're taking the two colors on either side of that opposite color. So we have here, for example, a green, a purple, and an orange. So the opposite of green is red, but you're not taking the red, you're taking the two colors on either side of red. And that is a little bit more easier on the eye. It doesn't have the tension as a complementary color scheme would. It's still very strong visually, and it has very good strength with contrast. The triad is basically 3 colors evenly spaced on the color wheel. It's kind of creating a triangle that is equal, with equal parts. And this over here is actually the red, blue, and yellow, which are the primary of one of the color systems. You can see that it does have a very nice and loud visual impact. It's vibrant, even if it's used pale or unsaturated, the vibrancy still comes through. This is a very nice color story to create a little bit of oomph. The 6th color harmony is tetrad, and it uses 4 colors arranged into 2 complementary pairs. It's kind of like a square or a rectangular shape on the color wheel. And the impact is very strong because color takes over the story and captivates everything. It's very rich, and it has plenty of different variations to experiment with. You probably have either one of these color wheels, or maybe you have both of them. Either way, what we've done in the previous lesson is we kind of create our own hybrid, and we've taken the best colors from System 1 and System 2 and made our very own color wheel. Regardless, what I want you to do is look at the back of the color wheel. You're going to see a bunch of graphs. These will indicate the color harmonies. Just keep in mind, if it's a square that you're looking at, the square has 4 points, so that is equivalent to 4 colors. Just keep that in mind, and I'll tell you a little bit why later. Or a rectangle. A rectangle also has 4 points. That's equivalent to 4 colors. 3 points indicates a triangle, equivalent to 3 colors. 2 points, which is basically an arrow or a line, that's equivalent to 2 colors. So keep that in mind, because when we talk about color play, we will apply this information. Stay tuned. Amazing. We've learned a lot. Let's put it into action. It's time to apply it to cosmetics and see how we can play with color harmonies. The way my brain likes to group these harmonies is into 2 groups. One group yields softer, gentler stories that are very good for natural makeup or everyday looks. Other color harmonies are louder and more vibrant and are amazing for editorials, drama, and theatrical looks. In the upcoming slides, I will present to you pictures of makeup, and what we'll do is break it down, assess the colors, and understand what relationship that harmony is. I'll give you a little bit of room so you can actually answer for yourself before I reveal the answer. Hopefully you'll be able to follow through. For easy reference, I'm gonna add a color wheel for every slide. That way you can kind of look at the color wheel, which is on the top left hand side of these slides. You'll be able to kind of identify where they fall on the color wheel and make out the relationship between the colors. Let's identify the colors from the picture. I see blue lashes, purple eyeliner, a blue dusting of eyeshadow on the temples, and there's also a little bit of gold. There's a purple lipstick as well. But the dominating colors are the blues, the purple, and the other shade of blue. So I would say this is an analogous color scheme. So basically they are neighboring colors on the color wheel. In the next picture, we identify a couple of blues. So there's the eyebrows, there's the socket, a deeper blue, and then there's like a purple blue eyeliner that's holographic. But then there's also like an orangey lipstick, but it's very pale, so it's like a tint of orange. The eyeshadow as well is kind of golden tint of orange. So this is a complementary color story. In the next shot, we identify green, and the lips are like a glossy pink, very, very pale pink, and pink is a tint of red, so they're opposite one another in the color wheel, and this makes it a complementary color story. Interesting image here. So we see multiple shades of blues. There's also bits of green and mermaid green, and there's also bang on orange for the blush, and that is a split complementary. If there were only one shade of blue without the greens and the purples, we would have said this is a complementary color story, but because there's a blue purple and a blue green, so that kind of makes it a split complementary. In the next shot, there's a lot of colors, so we need to zoom in on the prominent colors. So I definitely see green, I definitely see blue, I definitely see orange, and I definitely see red. And this is a tetrad color scheme. So basically it's a rectangular touch point on the color wheel. In this image, we see a tone of violet, but a very pale and muted. So a lot of white's been mixed into it as well, not just black. And we see that one shade or one color in different shades of it. So this will be a monochromatic color story. In this shot, we identify two oranges on the eye, a ruby lip, and a coral pinkish blush. So this gives me an analogous color story, and these colors are neighboring side by side. And last but not least, the dominating colors here are blue, red, and yellow, and this is a 3 touch point on the color wheel, which is a triangle or a triadic.